Charles Darwin was an English natural scientist who laid down a framework for the theory of evolution, showing how man evolved from lower life forms. At the time, his research and publication led to bitter controversy, but his theory of evolution and natural selection later became accepted within the scientific community. Charles Darwin was born on the 12th of February 1809 in Shrewsbury, Shropshire. He was born into a wealthy and influential family. His grandfathers included china manufacturer Josiah Wedgwood and Erasmus Darwin, one of the leading intellectuals of 18th century England. Darwin planned to study medicine at Edinburgh University, but later, at the instigation of his father, changed to studying divinity at Christ's College, Cambridge University. Darwin was not a great student, preferring to spend time in outdoor pursuits. He spent a lot of time examining natural science and beetle collecting. After gaining a passionate interest in natural science, Darwin was offered a place on the HMS Beagle to act as a natural scientist on a voyage to the coast of South America. At the time, religion was a powerful force in society, and most people took the Bible as the infallible, literal Word of God. This included the belief that God created the world in 7 days, and the world was only a few thousand years old. However, on the voyage, Darwin increasingly began to see evidence of life being much older. In particular, Lyell's principles of geology suggested that fossils were evidence of animals living hundreds of thousands of years ago. On the voyage, Darwin made copious notes about the specimens that he found on his voyages. In particular, at the Galapagos Islands, 500 miles west of South America, Darwin was struck by how the finch was different on each individual island. He noticed that the finch had somehow adapted to the various aspects of the particular island. Over the next 20 years, Darwin worked on the dilemma of how species evolve and can end up being quite different on different islands. Influenced by the work of Thomas Malthus, Darwin came up with a theory of natural selection and gradual evolution over time. In the struggle for survival, the fittest win out, at the expense of their rivals, because they succeed in adapting themselves best to their environment. Darwin continued to refine his theory, and would intensively breed plants to work on his theories. However, realizing how controversial his ideas were, Darwin delayed publishing them. It was not until learning that another naturalist, Alfred Russel Wallace, had developed similar ideas that Darwin was galvanized into publishing his own book. In 1859, the groundbreaking On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection was published. It immediately gained widespread interest and attention, leading to intense debate about the contention that man, by implication, was descended from animals like the ape. Owing to this struggle for life, any variation, however slight and from whatever cause proceeding, if it be in any degree profitable to an individual of any species, in its infinitely complex relationship to other organic beings and to external nature, will tend to the preservation of that individual, and will generally be inherited by its offspring. However, by the time he died, on the 19th of April 1882, his ideas had increasingly become accepted, at least by the scientific and non-religious society. He was given a state burial at Westminster Abbey. Darwin was brought up in the Church of England, and at one point was being trained to be an Anglican priest. Like many of his generation, he took the Bible as the literal Word of God, and often quoted it as a source of moral authority. However, After his epic voyage to South America, he became doubtful of the Bible as a source of history. He also felt no reason why all religions couldn't be true. I can, indeed, hardly see how anyone ought to wish Christianity to be true. For if so, the plain language of the text seems to show that the men who do not believe, and this would include my father, brother, and almost all my best friends, will be everlastingly punished. He was politically liberal, being an opponent of slavery. He experienced the brutality of how people treated their slaves in a Spanish colony. I have watched how steadily the general feeling, as shown at elections, has been rising against slavery. What a proud thing for England, if she is the first European nation which utterly abolishes it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.